Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another episode here on European Confessions. The following story that you're going to be listening to, it was sent to me by one of our dear sister, and this is the translation of that message that she sent to me. The translation reads like this: Hello, Brother Nashi, how are you? Can you please post my own story as hidden identity? My brother, my story, it goes on like this. I am a slay queen. Sometimes I sleep with my white blessers, dogs, just to keep him happy. So as for my blesser, he is a pit bull and he is a German shepherd. So most of the times he makes me to sleep with that German shepherd, not so much with the pit bull because he does not seem to like it. But as for the German shepherd, whenever he brings me to his mansion, then I will see that it will be getting ready to sleep with me. It is so used to sleep with women. He only does this to black women. I have been to his mansion when you'll be having a white prostitute or a Chinese prostitute, but he will make us like black women to sleep with the dog, whilst you will be sleeping with the white prostitutes. So this is how I became a prostitute. When I came here to South Africa, my parents, they were already working here in South Africa. So then they then said that I was supposed to repeat my matric. So I then went back to school and I did my matric, and I then passed with flying colors, and then I started going to university. Whilst I was in university, I then forgot who I was, stopped going to church, like because I had been sponsored and I was going to Stellenbosch University, and I was friends with these other girls that came from rich families. So they said that those that believe in God, they are just poor and they do not have anything in life. So I thought that I was also coming from a rich family, yet my parents, they are not rich, they are just in the middle class. We are just a middle class family. So I then started going out to a lot of parties. Whilst I was at this other party, that was when I met my first blesser, but he was a black man from another African country. That guy, he was the one who desensitized me to do some of the things that most of the women will never do for men that they love. That guy, one day when we were busy touching each other, because he used to enjoy a lot of oral sex, he did not like to penetrate me that much. So the guy, when he was sleeping on the bed, that was when he lifted his legs up in the air. So I was like busy sucking his manhood. That was when he said, go down, go down, go down, until I had his balls in my mouth. And he kept on saying, go down, until I was between his buttocks. And he said that I want to, and he said that just put your tongue in between my cheeks. And I started doing that. So each and every day, he kept on making me to do that. So by the time that I met the guy that I am dating right now, I was already into that, doing a lot of nasty stuff for the rich men that I do date. And whenever I would have done that, then the guy will give me a lot of money. I have guys that have bought for me cars a couple of times, and I have sold those cars. So for the sake of money, I can just do anything. I met this guy, this white guy that I am dating. I just wanted to experiment. So we dated until he told me that his fantasy was to see me sleeping with his dog. Last night that he made me to sleep with his dog, he then took some stockings and he made his dog to wear those stockings so that it won't hurt me with its paws. And this dog, to my surprise, it knew where to go to, because the moment that he undressed me in front of the dog, it started wagging its tail. This dog, it is like a very big dog, an oversized German shepherd. It is so scary to look at. Down, to my surprise, like the tongue, it was smooth and rough at the same time, and I started to enjoy, and I started moving my waist, and it kept on going down until it reached my cookie. When it was there, I screamed with pleasure because of the roughness and the smoothness of its very long tongue. It did that until I came, and after that, the guy, he then came and he penetrated me. And from that day up until today, this is what he makes me to do. Before he sleeps with me, he makes his dog to sleep with me. and he seems to enjoy it. What bothers me is that he only does this to us black women. But as for the white women, he has so much respect for them. You should see when he is making love to them, he just makes love to them in a very proper way, in a loving way. But as for me, sometimes the way that he will be grabbing my neck as if he wants to choke me to death. Oh, dear listeners, right there was a message that was sent to me by our dear sister. She's saying that she is a slay queen who sleeps with her white blesses dog just to keep him happy. Strange things do happen in this world. Then there is another message that was sent to me. The message reads like this. Hello, Brother Nashi, how are you? Can you please post my own story as hidden identity? I want to confess that I stole my friend's husband, and after I had stolen my friend's husband, at that time it was because of the car that had been given to her by the man that he used to work for. So the man, just before he had passed away, he had told his children that after he would have passed away, he wanted one of his car to be given to my friend's husband. So this was a very beautiful brand new Toyota Hilux. So he used to work for that man, and he was working for him as a gardener. So he had worked for him for a very long time. When he was given that car, he did not have a driver's license, nothing. So my brother, he was the one who had a worker's permit. So for you to register the car, you needed to have a work permit. So they came to us and they said that they were going to use my brother's passport so that the car can be in his name, yet it will be their car. So my brother already, he had a driver's license. So my brother one day came to me and he told me that he wanted me to date my friend's husband because he had already gotten a buyer for the car. And at that time, I was already married. So I then started seducing my friend's husband. When we were dating, that was when I told him that I wanted him to dump my best friend, and I used some charms that I got from this other traditional healer, and those charms, they were really working. So I forced him to dump his wife, and after he had dumped his wife, we started staying together. As for my husband, I did not even care for him. The day that he found out that I was sleeping with my friend's husband, he cried a lot, and I told him that I had moved on. He was supposed to move on with his own life. After he had sold the car, I then told him that we were supposed to go back home, and I wanted to introduce him to my parents. So we went first to my village, and they said after that we were supposed to go and buy a residential stand in their village. That we had when we arrived in Zim, it was close to 150,000 because this car, he had sold it for 170k. So my brothers, they already knew that their brother-in-law, he had some money. Then they stole that money from him, and the next morning when he said that he cannot see the money, that was when I told him to leave my father's compound, for he had accused my father of stealing. We went to this other traditional healer who gave me the charms that I used to kill my friend's husband. By the time that he arrived in his village, he was already sick and he passed away. Your dear listeners, right there was a message that was sent to me by one of our dear sister right there. Strange things indeed, they do happen in this world.